Money that we've been given from ARPA, I think that's a given, and we want to keep it in our community.
Tonight on NewsWatch 12 at 5, Grants Pass agreed to allocate nearly $5 million to government services. What that means in just a moment. Plus, efforts to recall a local county commissioner took another step. We'll tell you the steps ahead.
What's needed. They're showing us where the good habitat is. They're showing us where there isn't, where there's a lack of good habitat. So we can use these fish to inform us as river managers, as scientists, where restoration needs to take place.
And we hear from local tribes about the restoration of local fish habitats post-Klamath Dam removal projects. We have these stories and more coming up right now.
Watching out for you. This is NewsWatch 12 at 5.
We are taking a live look at Crater Lake and look at all that snow. It's really starting to feel like winter here in Southern Oregon. Thank you for tuning in for NewsWatch 12 at 5. I'm Samantha Cadera. Now we'll turn to Stormwatch 12 meteorologist Holden LaCroix for what a look into what the beginning of our week will look like.
Now, your first forecast.
Good Sunday evening, meteorologist Holden LaCroix here. We are expecting a continuation of kind of the wet and breezy conditions we had today. But for Monday, I will say it's not going to be the widespread rain that we've kind of been seeing. It's going to be more showery in nature. So one of those days where there's going to be a little break, a little downpour here and there, and that is only going to continue. But the big story about Monday as well is going to be some pretty low snow levels. Now, we're not expecting a whole lot of precipitation, but the precipitation that comes in, we could see a light dusting of snow all the way down to about 2,000 feet. And that does include some of the higher hills out toward Ashland and definitely up toward Roxy and Peak, a possibility. By Tuesday morning, there is a possible break with a few breaks in the clouds, but another potent storm system expected to move through heading into Wednesday. So through the course of the evening, you can see the snow starting up at pass level and even areas of Siskiyou Pass. We'll definitely be seeing a little bit of that snow out across Siskiyou County as well. Now, big story about Monday is we are going to be waking up to some snow for some. We'll take a closer look at that full forecast coming up.
Lots of rain and, as you can see, snow are in some of the roadways this weekend, so make sure to be safe if you plan on traveling this weekend.
Keep in mind that conditions can change very quickly, so it's really important to be ready for anything.
And if you do plan on traveling at all this weekend, you're advised to check TripCheck. You can see your route and be notified of any closures that are happening or planned. You can see a live camera shot of the roads you plan to take. And if you're going to be driving through California, California has their own tool with the Quick Maps website. This website, offered by Caltrans, will give you an up-to-date information on closures, roadways, and any interruptions in your drive, as well as show cameras along your trip to give you the safest route possible.
Last, few weeks, we've gotten all of our snow plows together. We're preparing for winter time.
That was just a little snippet of an exclusive ride-along NewsWatch 12 was able to do with the Oregon Department of Transportation. We touched on what work they're doing to keep your roadways safe, and we'll have more on that work being done in our evening shows tomorrow. And to stay in the know anytime, download our Stormwatch 12 app. There you can find radar, daily and hourly forecasts, severe weather alerts, and more. And with the temperatures cooling down this week, a lot of you at home are going to want to stay warm. And Medford Fire is reminding you to do so safely. Medford's Deputy Fire Marshal says people should keep 3 feet of space around any space heater. If you're using a space heater, don't leave it unattended. This means turning it off before you go to sleep each night, even if that means wearing some extra clothes to bed.
Putting on clothing and only trying to heat maybe a small space can definitely help you in those emergency times when you might need to have heat.
Make sure your space heater is certified to be safe, and you'll also want to make sure that you keep pets away from your heater. Dogs and cats can knock over or damage space heaters. Only plug heaters directly into the wall and not into power strips or extension cords. And if you're looking to actually get cold and have some fun, a local holiday staple is getting ready to open. The Ashland Rotary Centennial Ice Rink opens next Saturday, and the rink opens at 8 a.m. with adult hockey until 10 a.m. Stick and puck starts at 10 and goes until 11:30, and the Frozen Tots skating time goes from 12 to 2 p.m. and the day finishes with open rec skating from 2 to 9 p.m. A recall effort into a local politician is one step closer to becoming a reality. The committee to recall Josephine County Commissioner John West announced their petition is now certified by the county clerk. This means the petition has gained enough signatures to call for a recall election. This gives Commissioner West 5 days to step down, and if he doesn't, a recall election is scheduled for December 17th. The chief petitioner said in a release that this is a testament to the power of community action. They said the power of a recall is how citizens hold elected officials accountable. And Grants Pass agreed to allocate nearly $5 million of American Rescue Plan, or ARPA, funding towards local government services. The city received ARPA funding as a part of pandemic recovery infrastructure. That money was sent to local governments with the agreement that the money would be allocated by December 2024. And if not, the remaining funds would be sent back to the U.S. Treasury. To keep the money local and flexible for the city's needs, they agreed to do this plan.
Nobody wants to lose the money that we've been given from ARPA. I think that's a given, and we want to keep it in our community. So I'm going to move to approve the resolution reallocating the remaining American Rescue Plan Act funds to government services.
The funds will move to a new category, governmental services, which will work towards current and future projects. That includes affordable housing projects and infrastructure. The money is required to be spent by December 2026, or the remainder will be sent to the U.S. Treasury. Salmon are returning to the Klamath River after the largest dam removal project in U.S. history. The Yurok tribal fisheries are tracking the number of salmon returning to the parts of the river. The habitats aren't fully restored yet, but salmon are still starting to lay eggs and spawn. Barry McCovey with Yurok Tribal Fisheries says these salmon are showing them what the river still needs for the future.
What's needed. They're showing us where the good habitat is. They're showing us where there's a lack of good habitat. So we can use these fish to inform us as river managers, as scientists, where restoration needs to take place.
Removal project opened up 400 miles of salmon habitat on the Klamath River. Before the dams were put in, the Klamath River was the third biggest salmon producing river on the West Coast. And we've had a lot of wet weather recently, which means a lot of trails are getting muddy and slippery. But with National Hiking Day today, it's the perfect time to embrace the outdoors, rain or shine. This week's NewsWatch 12's Luke Doughton set out to find a trail you can tackle in any weather, mud or dirt. Let's leg it out to Tilomique Falls.
Tilomique Falls is a very flat hike taking you along the Rogue River near Gold Hill. Despite recent rain, the trail was almost completely dry in most spots, making it a great destination after we get some wet weather. We follow the powerful Rogue River, who is looking a little extra strong after all the rainfall we've gotten recently.
There's a whole bunch of spots that you can get right next to the river, but this water is freezing.
We'll get further and closer to the river as we go along, the whole time hearing either a faint rumble or a loud roar, depending on how close you are. The falls themselves aren't that big, but just look at how fast the rapids are moving. Seeing it up close was impressive, showing just how dangerous and wild they can be, even though we're only 15 minutes outside of Medford. Maybe it's because of how easy the 2-mile hike was, but this was one of the most relaxing and calming hikes I've taken you on so far. The late season fall colors aren't as impressive as they are during peak season, but still set a beautiful backdrop along our route.
And those in the Klamath District Garden Club helped local children turn what once was trash into some treasure. Take a look at these pictures. Local 4th through 8th graders were able to make sculptures from recycled materials, and they were even able to enter their creations in the Oregon State Federation of Garden Clubs contest. I apologize, we're having some technical difficulty, but NewsWatch 12 is asking for your help with our annual Stuff the Truck food campaign. We're collaborating with Ray's Food Place to stuff again this holiday season. Our goal is 5,500 bags of groceries to families in need. And you can donate a full bag of groceries for $25 at any Ray's Food Place store, and we'll take care of the rest. You can also donate online at kdrv.com, and our Stuff the Truck campaign runs through December 24th.